Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine and today we're going to be talking about how to make Catholic friends. Okay, but also don't get rid of your atheist friends, your Jewish friends, your Protestant friends. No. I'm not saying get rid of those friends. I'm saying we also need friends who are of a like mind and a like faith. Many times you go through spiritual warfare, spiritual dryness, or you're just super happy and in tune with your religion, or you want to discuss some part of your religion that you've never had a chance to discuss before. You need friends to be able to discuss that with. That's just part of being a human. You need to be able to discuss certain things with like-minded people. So we need our Catholic friends. We need our Catholic fellowship, 100%. Or you just moved to a new city and you just need friends in general. These tips work really well as well. So let's get right into it. If you are in high school, I'm going to ask that you watch this part. If you're out of high school, you can use the timestamps below to skip ahead. But if you're in high school, what I really want you to do when you are deciding where to go to college is to look into the Newman Center and Focus Missionaries. That is how I made all of my Catholic friends in school. You do not have to go to Catholic school in order to meet practicing Catholic friends, all right? I went to secular public school, state school, right? It was awesome. And when I went to visit that school before I decided that was going to be my school, is they had tabling, right? Where they have the different clubs and everything out. And they had the Newman Center. And I just talked to them and they said, oh my gosh, we have theology on taps. They weren't really theology on taps because let's face it, half the kids in college are under 21. So like we couldn't actually drink, but you know, it was still fun. They had theology on taps. They had pizza parties. They had adoration. They had Bible studies. Focus was on campus. Focus is the Fellowship of Catholic University Students. They are so awesome. I highly recommend finding a school that has Focus because that was super helpful. And you know, keep in mind, some Focus missionaries are better than others. Some of them I got along with better than others. And some of them were just better at Bible studies, better at everything. Is what it is. So highly recommend when you are discerning where to go to college, make sure you are checking out those Catholic groups because that is a game changer. Especially if you're like me, I went to public school my whole life and then all of a sudden I'm in college and I have all these friends who are, oh yeah, Jesus is present in the Eucharist. Like what? Like I was like, what? Oh my gosh, these people believe in the same things as me? They're practicing the same values as me? Wow. And keep in mind also, your Catholic friends may not be practicing the correct values, may not be doing that. You got to pray for them just like you would for all the rest of your friends, but you're more comfortable talking about your values with someone who is supposed to be believing the same values as you. So if you are post-college, this is how I recommend that you make Catholic friends. Especially if you have moved to a new city, I want you to go parish shopping, right? Find the church with the other young adults. When I was done with college, I was still living at home with my parents and there was no young adults really at my church. There just wasn't. And so one day I was randomly in a church about 20 minutes away from where I grew up and they were making the announcements and it was the first time ever they were having a young adult event later that week. Oh my gosh, that was totally divine providence that I would hear about this young adult event that I never would have heard of because this parish was 20 minutes away. So please go parish shopping and try and find a parish that also has young adults. If you don't want to do that, you can just ask your pastor, do you know of a young adult group in this county? Chances are he will say yes. And if he doesn't know, go into the county website, figure out where the churches are in your county and start looking at the bulletins for each parish and see if there is a young adult group. Look at the parish websites, look under ministries, see if there's Catholic young adult ministries, all that good stuff. Chances are something is out there, and if nothing is out there, maybe this is your call to start a young adult group. Prayerfully consider it. I do not want anybody to throw up their hands and say, woe is me, there are no Catholic young adult groups in my area, nobody my age, God has abandoned me, I am entitled to friends. Nobody wants to be friends with someone who is entitled. Nobody wants that, all right? This might be your call to put in the work and start a young adult group. And it's gonna take time, it takes the time to build it up. I have a YouTube video on young adult events, check that out as well. But please prayerfully discern, maybe this is your call to start a young adult group. But really start off with just looking at a ton of church websites and seeing if they have a young adult ministry. Chances are someone somewhere has a young adult ministry. There's so many in my area. Granted, again, like I say this all the time, I live in North Jersey. There are so many young adult groups in my area. It's absolutely crazy. It's insane. And another way you can find young adult groups is going on Reddit. Now, Reddit I don't really like because people just complain on Reddit. It's really annoying. I only go on Reddit really to promote my YouTube channel and you know, works out well for me. But go on Reddit and usually either in the Catholicism Reddit sub, whatever it's called, or the Catholic dating one, that's, you know, where more of the young people are on the Catholic dating one. Just post, hey, are there any Catholic young adult groups in Boston? Or are there any Catholic young adult groups in Kansas City? Go on there, post, and they'll probably send you some. Just Google it. You probably will find something. There are groups out there, I promise you guys. Are you praying for friends? Do you think it's impossible for you to find friends? Novenas, novenas, novenas. Pray a novena to St. Rita, impossible causes. Pray a novena to St. Anthony, you know, patron saint of lost things. You've lost all your friends. Try and pray for friends. That is a great way to do it as well. Another thing I want you guys to keep in mind, when you go to these Catholic young adult events, don't go just looking for a spouse. Okay? There is nothing that a girl can see right through than when a guy joins the young adult group just to find a spouse, or vice versa, right? I once was at a Catholic young adult event many years ago that I was running the event, and a woman came and she said, are these all the guys that are involved in the group? I said, no, but this is most, you know, not all the guys could come today. She goes, are they all going to be between the ages of X and Y? And I said, yeah, they're all pretty much around that age. She goes, okay, so I'm not coming back. None of them are boyfriend material for me. Okay, well, maybe one of the women in that group was going to be your best friend. Maybe the man of your dreams was going to come to the next meeting. Don't be so closed-minded and just go looking to find a spouse. I know that these Catholic young adult groups are disguised sometimes to hope that young adult Catholics find spouses at them, but that's really not all they're there for. They really are there so you grow in faith and fellowship. That is the point, is to find fellowship. Who knows? Maybe you're going to meet your best female friend and you're going to marry your cousin. Your cousin. You never know, okay? Please, please, please go to these young adult events with the right attitude, and do not go and expect to ask girls out on the first, you know, event. Get to know the women before you start asking them out, because it's just weird. We can see right through that. So just be mindful of that. Be smart about it, okay? I hate that I have to say that, but I've seen it so many times because I've been involved in so many young adult groups. Another way to make friends, honest to God, this is gonna sound annoying and maybe you guys will be mad at this, but move to flippin' New York if you're trying to make friends. I understand living in a city is not for everybody, but I forget that New York is not a religious city because all of my friends that live in New York are religious, because I only made all my Manhattan friends really through Catholic young adult events. There is Shalom in Brooklyn that I talk about on here that I really like. There is Catholic Underground. There is Catholic NYC. There's all these things, and sometimes it takes a while to get into it. For example, like Catholic Underground, that was my first time going to a charismatic, but it's not like, woo, charismatic, it's more meditative. That was my first time ever going to a charismatic event, and it took me a while to really get into it, and then you make friends afterwards, you make friends during. It's so cool. So even if you're just traveling to New York for a trip or something, see if Catholic Underground is running that week, because it's awesome. It's life-changing. And the different young adult groups, there's women's groups within Catholic NYC, there's men's groups, there's movie nights, there's obviously Theology on Tap, there is the Young Adult Mass, and then Cardinal Dolan comes a few times a year, and there's free food, and there's free drinks, and there is tons of we have such great speakers. And it is run by the Young Adult Outreach Office of the Archdiocese of New York. And their events are so polished because they actually have a staff. The young adult group that I run, I'm a volunteer. They are so polished because they are paid to do this for a living. They are paid to put on great events. So please, you guys, if you are on the fence about moving to New York, I promise you, you will find Catholic friends in New York. I have had so many friends, because it is also a transient city. I've had so many friends move to New York, stay for a few years, make awesome friends, and then move away, and I'm still friends with them, still go on girls trips with them and everything. It's so great. It's so wonderful. And I love it. Now, once you find these friends, it's a lot of work because it can be nerve-wracking the first time, especially like if you're like me and you're a woman. And sometimes I would go to these young adult events many years ago, and I still didn't have that many friends. I would meet another girl who was also single and didn't have very many friends. It would be nerve-wracking to like say, oh, can I get your number? And go, do you want to go meet for brunch? Try and get a few other women to meet for brunch or something like that. Try and be self-aware. If this is a group of girls that is super cliquey, maybe you don't want to get involved with them because they're just cliquey and they don't want to get involved with you. Try and find women of similar ages as you. That's very helpful. Of course, much older friends and much younger friends within the 21 to 39 age range in these young adult events. But I try and stick to girls who are within the few years of me. I just have more in common with them. Be self-aware when you're trying to meet new people. and invite them to brunch, maybe invite them to a spin class. I have done that. I tried, especially when I moved to the city that I currently live in, to be a ringleader, and I would meet girls, you know, to be friends with and stuff, and just invite them to stuff. Like that's what you need to do. Sometimes there's a bunch of girls who want to be friends with each other and they just need a ringleader to introduce them to each other and to try and make new friends. All of that I'm saying goes for men as well. Guys love drinks and love Sunday fun day. You invite any men to come to Sunday fun day, go ahead. Just be prepared for them all to say no. Don't take the fact that they say no the first time to mean they're not interested in being your friend, because this isn't dating, right? They're not gonna try and reschedule right away, okay? Don't take that no as they're not interested. It really could be that they're just busy that day. Another thing I wanna keep in mind is how hard it is to maintain friendships as we get older. Right, so like I mentioned, a bunch of my friends, especially during the pandemic, moved away, moved out of the area, and it was very hard for me and very sad. And then you had to make new friends, and I moved to this new area and everything. And it's not easy to just make friends, but it's also very difficult to maintain them. You gotta just accept that this is a rough ride. It's a rough ride out there. It's gonna be hard to make friends no matter what, no matter the age, no matter the time. It's always gonna be hard. You just gotta lean on God. And God doesn't want you to be lonely and sad, okay? He does not want that. But in order to make friends, you're gonna have to go out of your comfort zone. It's just gonna happen. It's very rare you're just gonna be sitting in the church pew and someone's gonna be next to you and just say, hey, do you wanna get coffee after Mass? It's very rare that's gonna happen. So you gotta put yourself out there. That's just the way it is. And I know it's hard. I was deathly shy as a child, and I still am very shy. But you put yourself out there, and I put myself out there many times, and now I have a ton of awesome Catholic friends, and I have a ton of regular friends too. So you just gotta push yourself out there. I'm the girl who made the why I'm not going to my high school reunion video, right? I didn't even go to my senior prom, and yet I have this awesome network of Catholic friends, and I am so grateful to each and every one of them. So it's all about putting yourself out there with confidence and just doing the work. You got to do work to find friends. You got to do the research, and prayer. Prayer is going to help you so much. Can you guys let me know in the comments below how you found your Catholic friends? I would super appreciate that. Give this video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss one of my videos. It really helps out the algorithm, guys. I am so grateful. Every time I get one of you guys who subscribes, or it's just so great, and it really helps. So thank you guys so much. If you keep subscribing, keep liking these videos, I'm gonna keep making them. I will see you guys next time. I know it's a rough ride out there. I know it's a rough ride making friends, but I promise you, you will not be alone forever. All right, thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.